Our top story this morning, one day after federal unemployment benefits expired for millions of Americans, President Trump signed the next round of coronavirus relief into law. The president is agreeing to the terms of a bipartisan aid package passed last Monday. It does not include any of the changes he has called for, including more money for stimulus checks. Members of his own party have been opposed to that idea. Debra Alfarone is following the latest on Capitol Hill. Debra, we are also now avoiding a government shutdown this week.
Absolutely, Jeff. With 48 hours to go and a sweep of a pen, the president then ended up funding the federal government with $1.4 trillion. And yes, we just narrowly missed a government shutdown.
Relief is on the way for millions of Americans. After days of criticizing the coronavirus relief bill, President Trump finally signed it into law Sunday night. Congress had passed the $900 billion bill a week ago after months of negotiations. But the president threatened to veto it, calling the $600 stimulus checks a disgrace and asking for more than triple that amount.
This support is unequivocally beneficial. Their citizens are getting the income support they need, and importantly, businesses are getting the loans and funding that they need so that they can keep people employed.
In a statement, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the bill a down payment on what is needed to crush the virus.
Both Speaker Pelosi and President Trump say the House will be voting today on providing $2,000 stimulus checks to many Americans. It's a measure many Republican lawmakers have resisted in the not-so-distant past.
Why would we be sending $2,000 to people with a six-figure income who've had no suspension, no reduction of their income at all? It should be targeted to people who've actually lost their job. Small businesses that are actually in danger of going under.
As the relief bill sat unsigned, millions of Americans lost their unemployment benefits over the weekend. Now those benefits will return, though delayed.
Give me more food on the table. Help me pay bills.
The president also signed off on $1.4 trillion in federal spending, just one day before a potential government shutdown.
And so, Deborah, I think the thing that most people at home are concerned about is when are they going to see this money? Obviously, this has been a delay. Do you think they'll see that $600 this week?
Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin had said that we would see it this week, Jeff, but again, we've got that week-long delay, so it's just not clear at this point. Will it end up being pushed down the road another week? Perhaps. The one thing I do know is that you will be getting those first if you have your direct deposit information on file with the IRS. That'll go straight into your bank account. If you don't, you're going to get a paper check or a debit card, and of course, we all know that could take a little longer.
All right, so let's fact check what Pennsylvania Republican Senator Pat Toomey said, that he doesn't want the direct payments going to those people who make six figures or more. But is that what he voted for originally?
Well, those payments go to people who make $75,000 and less. So no, it doesn't seem to be that. Also, he voted for this bill that includes so many different things, including, of course, lending for small businesses, rental assistance, money for schools, food stamps, and of course, it also extends the moratorium on evictions, and that's super important as well.
And you mentioned this House vote today. I'm wondering if this is just theater to satisfy the president and his concerns. They're going to be voting on whether to raise the amount of stimulus money. Is this something that has even a chance of passing at this point?
Well, it kind of depends on who you ask. Chuck Schumer, he says it's going to pass the House, that's for sure. But then there are some Republican senators who are in favor of it, like Lindsey Graham, who went golfing with the president on Christmas and came back with a renewed interest in these $2,000 checks. Also, Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri, he's been in favor of larger checks the whole time. Now, there are some people whose silence is actually pretty loud, and that's Mitch McConnell and just about every other Republican senator. So who's to say how far we're going to get with this?
Good point. Inauguration day. It seems like it's far off, but it's really just around the corner. And so I'm wondering, what is the president-elect Joe Biden's stance on this stimulus, this aid package?
Well, he's always said that this is a down payment, that he wants to pass another package when he takes office. So we're talking about more stimulus checks. He also wants to have enough money to pay for everyone in America who wants one to get the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine. He wants state and local aid money, more funding for testing, of course, for COVID-19. He also wants the moratorium on evictions to continue. And then the last thing is having enough PPE, so funding for that. That's going to be something that he's going to want to pass, as soon as he gets in office. It's going to be a huge initiative for him.
It will be, no doubt, and so many families struggling this holiday season to pay the bills, to even put food on the table. So there will be more discussion about this. Thank you, Debra Alfarone, for keeping us up to date